I'm crying. I'm so happy.
Hello, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be all about recapping my experience while at Nanaimo City on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada, and attending the book convention that I mentioned in October during my 6-month challenge video. Link below if you haven't seen that. And if you are new here, hi, my name's Amanda. I write dark romantasy as well as fantasy romance, and I am currently on a journey to try and get my first debut novel published in 2026. I had a few people that were interested in hearing how it went, also seeing some of the clips and images from the book convention, and I actually have a little bit of a book haul at the end of this video. Of course, I went to a book convention, book meetup, author signing event. I am coming back with something, okay? I had several problems pop up while we were on our journey to Nanaimo City. And honestly, at one point, my husband and I thought that we might not make it to the city, to the hotel for our reservation, or to the book convention because of a major issue, which was dealing with the Canadian ferry system. If you have never been to a port or you've never been on a ferry, for ferries in general, these are more of a passenger cargo ship. So they take people across from one landmass to another. Sometimes you can load cars on these large vehicles, trucks, construction things. And so that's kind of what we had to take in order to get from Vancouver port area to Nanaimo City, which is on Vancouver Island. So we got in line at the port check-in counter and paid for our ticket. That was the first problem. The tickets in Washington State to board a ferry are generally $35, maybe less, maybe slightly more, but no more than $35. Tell me why, and I'll put it on screen here, tell me why the Canadian ferry ticket to get on the boat with our car was this expensive. After you purchase a ticket, there are usually 10 to 20 different lines for traveling cars and vehicles to line up in. The attendant directed us to a particular line, so we went and we parked our vehicle. And the ports actually have little buildings that have restaurants built in and eateries, and so we actually got out of the car, used the restroom, went to those little restaurants, got us some lunch and things like that, and then came back to the car to wait for our time slot to be called. And so we waited, and then our time slot got called out over the speakers to board, and our line did not move. We went nowhere, not even an inch. Unfortunately, that meant that we then had to wait for the next sailing. So at this point, I'm pulling up my phone. I'm opening it. I'm looking up how many sailings that they have from Vancouver City to Vancouver Island, specifically Nanaimo. The ferry system for Nanaimo, we were going by just general admission. There were a couple other options, we could have taken Victoria, we could have taken another option as well to go to a different area on the island, but we picked Nanaimo because we thought, well, we're just going to do a direct connection. And there were 2 ferries that were going from Vancouver to Nanaimo. One would take 2 hours to go and board and land. The second one would take 2 hours to come back. And they were kind of rotating, right? So we, at that point, realized, okay, we're kind of stuck. We have already bought this ticket. It was expensive. We're not backing out. We have to go to this event because I'm going to be extremely disappointed if I miss it. And we'll just have to wait, I suppose, right? Because, what else could you do? They don't do refunds, that's for sure. We could have backed out and drove all the way around, but that would have added 4 or 6 hours to our trip. So we had nothing else to do but wait. So what we ended up doing was sitting in the car, just trying to relax, trying to be patient. We turned on some anime and was watching that on the laptop while we had some extra snacks. got up, walked around, did a few things. I got in a writing session or two and, went to the restroom, came back, waited maybe 15 minutes prior to our boarding, and we heard over the announcements in the loudspeakers saying, this time frame can board now. And this time we moved forwards 10 feet. I kid you not, 10 feet. And at that point, we heard over the loudspeakers, boat to Nanaimo, deporting now. And I looked at my husband, and he looked at me, and we literally saw on each other's face how devastated we were at the fact that we now would have to wait again for the next sailing. That meant 2 more hours. At this point, 4 hours have gone by now, right? Because we missed the first 2 sailings. The third sailing comes by. We missed that one as well. We had to wait for 4 sailings before we got to get onto the ferry. And I remember being in the car. At this point, I'm like crashing out. I'm already processing the fact that we're not making it. We're not going to get on the boat. We're not going to get to the hotel. We're not going to get to go to the event. I've just lost all of this money. We've spent all day Friday sitting and waiting in the car with the hope of getting on the boat, even though we have purchased a ticket, right? Even though we've purchased a ticket, we may not make a sailing if there is no space, which I thought was crazy, but different country, different rules, different way of doing things. It just so happened that day, the morning sailings got canceled. All of the people from the morning sailings had to then come at the middle of the day to travel. We were also traveling on a Friday, which is practically the worst day of the week, apparently. I just remember sitting in the car as we're driving up the ramp to go into the ferry boat and park the car. And I started crying, guys. Like, I kid you not, I was so relieved. I did not expect my anxiety to be so bad that day, but waiting that long for 8 hours to get on the boat with a possibility of not actually getting on the boat, losing all of that money, it just set me off. And I just was like, I'm done for today. My stress level is here. I can't handle anything else. I just need the rest of the evening to go smoothly. If any of you are traveling to Vancouver Island from anywhere in Canada and you have to take a ferry, reserve your ferry in advance. Please save yourself from waiting hours of time and reserve your ticket. But once we got on the ferry, everything was nice. We went upstairs. I took my laptop. I got a little bit of video editing done, and I tried to just relax. The rest of the evening, thankfully, was uneventful. Drove from the port to our hotel, checked in via digital text message, and had a good night's rest. Nanaimo City is a seafaring city, so there's lots of ports, there's lots of boating activities, there's lots of little mini mom and pop cafes and things like that. So Saturday morning, hubby and I got up.
Action.
Okay, this is my outfit of the day for the book event. Got my boots, jeans, shirt, and a cardigan. This is Sting. If you guys can tell me where it's from. This is the back. And we went to breakfast. We're off now to go get some breakfast. And we're gonna stop at, what was the cafe called?
Gabriel's Gourmet Cafe. I looked him up last night.
Gabriel's Gourmet Cafe. Yum.
Should be good.
I had this wonderful little breakfast dish here, and all of the ingredients were locally sourced, which I absolutely love. After breakfast, we took a moment to just kind of walk around and explore. Of course, Vancouver Island and Nanaimo City in particular had similar weather patterns as Washington State. So it was wet, it was moist, it was rainy. We obviously had no umbrellas because we're from Seattle, so we got a couple funny looks for that reason, but we checked out the local square that the cafe was in and we walked around. There was the local library that we saw. I didn't get to go in at the time. Then there was also a local bookstore, which I found out while shopping the bookstore that it was a thrift store. And literally I got 2 books on Thai language because it's so hard to find resources on that. But I got 2 books on Thai language for under $7. I was like, okay, might have to come back here before I leave and really look at things in case I've missed something. After the bookstore, hubby and I got in the car and drove over to the book event. The event I attended was the West Coast Readers Convention, and it was hosted by the Dark Desires Bookbox. I'll put both of their links below if they have a YouTube or Instagram channel. And this event was taking place in Nanaimo City, so that was exactly why I came to this city in the first place. And they held the event at a little convention center inside of a park. It was very cute. There were lots of people. They had multiple time frames in which you could sign up for admission. I believe the VIP events happened earlier in the morning. General admission was in the middle of the day, and the after party, I had purchased the general admission because I only was going to probably spend an hour max at the event. Get in, get my book signed, buy some books, and get out. My husband dropped me off at the convention. He went to go take photographs of the city. He was not going to go with me. I tried my best to get him to come in, but he was like, I don't really read romance. And I was like, but you could come support me. It didn't work, so I let him go do his thing. He dropped me off at the convention. Immediately upon getting in line, I started getting very nervous. Once I got into the event, I actually did call my husband. I did. And I was like, hey, I'm kind of standing in the corner right now, not sure what to do with myself, but starting to get a little shy. He basically gave me a pep talk and was like, you paid money to go to this event. You wanted to come see these authors. Go buy some stuff. Spend some money. That'll help you break out of it. Which he was not wrong. So maybe that's the solve for shyness. Spend some money. I don't know. But I'm not really a shy person anymore. I'm more on the extroverted side and I like talking to people. But that event reverted me 12, 15, 20 years back into the past, Amanda. So I went to the concession, and that's basically their merchandising table, and they had tote bags and stickers and glass bottles like these. They had books and other things, which was kind of fun. But I actually did a little fun game that they offered, which was basically that you buy a ticket for maybe $10 or up, depending on what you wanted. They give you a ticket or a coin in replacement, and then you put your coin in a vending machine, and the vending machine will give you a prize. That prize is going to be what you actually win from their merchandising table. So I thought, well, why not? Let's just try it and see what happens. And I played the game. I ended up getting a tote bag, which I will show you guys soon. Then I turned my sights on a couple other merchandising items that I wanted, and I bought those. After spending some money, taking back the control, right? After taking control of my situation, then I took a moment to kind of look around the entire convention, and the West Coast Readers Convention actually were really awesome because on their Instagram they provided a little image which had the placement of every single author in attendance. So if you just wanted to pop in, check out some things by your favorite author and then leave, you totally could. If you wanted to, go systematically around, you could do that too, which I thought was really awesome. So I knew going in where I wanted to end up at the end, But I started thinking like, okay, I'm going to just check out all the tables, say hi to the authors, and I met and purchased a couple books from 3 or 4 different authors on my way to Elizabeth Helen's table. The first author that I actually met, her name was Belle Walker, and she's a spicy paranormal romantasy, and fantasy writer, and her book is Blood War. That's the current one that she was like featuring at her table. I haven't read it yet, but it is on my TBR pile. And just to give you guys a snippet of the synopsis from the book, it's a warrior forged in blood, a horseman bound by duty. Together, they ignite a war that could end worlds. Demetra Collins has spent a decade battling nightmares to protect her last loved one. But when she crosses paths with Kaylin, a war incarnate, her world shatters. As secrets unravel and desires ignite, they must unite against a darkness that threatens to consume everything. Love it. So her tropes that she usually features, especially in this book, is enemies to lovers, found family, angels versus demons, 4 horsemen, slow burn, spicy, forbidden love, and found family. And she was super nice. I absolutely enjoyed meeting her. I hope to see her again at a future author event as well. The second author that I met at the event, her name was Angelina Kelly, and she was so sweet. She had such fiery red curly hair. I absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous. But she writes epic wild fantasy and some romance mixed together. And her book that she was featuring was The Source of the Storms. And the synopsis that she lists online for this is, born the daughter of a Selkie, Halja is condemned as Fey-touched, marked as an outsider for her Fey lineage. But when she meets Bjerg, a mysterious stranger who sees past her Fey-touched appearance, and Elith, a wise sorcerer who takes her under her wing, Halja's world shifts. Yet when a fanatical high priestess blames the Fey-touched for the monsters that plague the realm, Halja finds herself caught in the crossfire. With the king's ear and the power of a new god behind her, the high priestess will stop at nothing to destroy anyone who stands in her way. Halja must uncover the full potential of her shape-shifting power, the very thing that damns her in her eyes of her country, to save those she loves and protect the fragile future she's begun to imagine with Björn. Ooh, I love it. It's so good. Her tropes that she uses in her novel is elemental magic, Selkies, touch her and die, epic fantasy, found family, friends to lovers, shadow monsters, coming of age, and feminine rage. I have not read this yet, but I did purchase it, and it will be on my TBR pile as well. I'm hoping to start this book soon because the synopsis has me in a fit. The third author that I met, her name was Kayla McGrath, and she was actually posted up like right at the entrance of the event. She had like such a nice setup. I had a feeling that she would sell out, and she did sell out of her books at the event. Unfortunately, Amazon like delayed her order, so she didn't get half of her order in time, which is unfortunate, but I managed to snag, of course, one of the 2 last book bundles that she had, and the book I got was called The Ruined Dreams, Cold as Iron Trilogy. I purchased book 2 at the convention. Book 1 was the books that she was going to receive from Amazon. She ended up having to mail me that one in the mail, but I actually got it so I can open it with you guys on camera and show you. The tropes that she uses in this series, or this trilogy, is enemies to lovers, fated mates, secret identities, lovers to enemies, my favorite, only one bed, fake dating, fairy bargains, who did this to you, courtly intrigue, hidden royalty, public acts, and friends to lovers. She was absolutely great, wonderful to talk to, loved getting to say hello, and I hope to see her again at a future event as well. After those 3 authors, then I made my way around to Elizabeth Helen and their table. And I got starstruck immediately upon seeing them. Like, I kid you not, I don't get starstruck for celebrities, but put me in a room with one of my favorite authors and watch me get starstruck. Totally unexpected. I probably gabbed their ear off while I was there, but they were so sweet. They were so awesome. I was so happy to meet them. I got a photo with them and it was really good. I really enjoyed the experience. It was totally worth it afterwards. I got in the car and my husband was like, "You enjoyed that, huh?" And I was like, "Yes." Like, smile ear to ear. It was great. I absolutely loved it. I would go again. Now that I've experienced it the first time and I know what to expect, I would go again just to see them and say hello and get another book signed, because why not? If you're not familiar with Elizabeth Helen, they are the authors of the Beasts of the Briar series. I believe 4 or 5 of the books are released to the public. The 5th or 6th one is on its way. They are transitioning from indie publishing to like traditional publishing, and they had gotten a new agreement and contract. But if you haven't checked out any of their work, highly recommend. I think you would like it. It's like a romantasy style novel with supernatural elements, found family, enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, and it's a why choose. And it's absolutely great. I love it. So check it out if you haven't already. And that's really all of the events for Saturday, except we did go to the movies later that evening to see Tron 3. And my husband's a big fan, so that was really cool to do, and I'm glad we got the chance to do that. Then we went back to the hotel. Sunday, we woke up. It was our last day in Nanaimo City, so we thought we'd spend some time exploring the city a little bit more. The weather was kind of lightening up, so it was a little bit easier to get around and do things outdoors. So we went to the ports and we walked by like all of the boats and checked that out. There were lots of animals, so if you're worried about Canada being dog friendly, absolutely they are. The island especially, there were practically 1 dog per every 2 people, which was great to see. Then it was time to like pack up and check out of the hotel. We went to Tim Hortons, which is like a fast food restaurant in Canada. I would say the American equivalent could be Dunkin' Donuts, but they were better. No qualms admitting that they were better. So you basically go there, you get coffee, you get donuts and like little treats and things. On the way to the ferry, my husband and I decided to stop by the Nanaimo River estuary, which is basically like a bird sanctuary. And it was this extremely large plot of land, like thousands of acres long, and it was all wetlands, designated safety areas for the birds and their habitats, and some fishery things as well. So it was just like a nice little area to take a stroll in, check it out, see what they have there, and waste some time while we waited to get onto the ferry boat to go back to Vancouver and then drive back into the US to Seattle. It was a great experience. I loved going to Nanaimo City, even with all of the issues that we had with the ferry initially. It's a nice little spot. It's definitely giving more relaxed vibes and like cozy bookstore-ish coffee shop vibes if you're kind of into that scene. Very aesthetic, very seafaring, lots of things to do with water, like boating and manatee watching, small planes. You could take like a charter flight on a small plane and fly around the island. They're also known for their wildlife and their trails. They have lots of like hiking areas that people like to go to during the summer that span the entire island, which is also cool. We didn't get to do any of that because we went in the fall, so it was a bit cold. It was also rainy, and we just didn't have enough time. Let's jump into the haul that I got from the event, and I'm excited to show you guys. I think a lot of it's really cute. So when I spun the vending machine and I won a prize, I ended up winning the tote bag. They had like 15 or 20 different options, but the tote bag I won was this one. I think you can see it. It's so cute. It basically says, suspect claims she's broke, but always had money for new books. I love it. I just love the pop art style as well. Let's see. Next, I got a tumbler, and it's all glass, even the straw, which I thought was kind of cute. And this is what it looks like. And I just really loved the graphic. I liked the colors on it as well. And I also like that the glass is more of a tinted instead of a clear glass, so that way I don't have to always look at the contents in the glass itself. So Elizabeth Helen's book that I took with me was book 4 in their series. I wanted to take book 1, but I lent it out to a friend and I didn't get it back in time. So I took book 4 with me instead, and this one was Broken by Daylight. And this one has been my favorite so far. It's super thick. She's a thick girl. But I took it, got it signed, and had it personalized because I don't plan to ever sell this book. So I felt like it was fine to personalize it. And the quote that they listed was, "Love is an endless sea." And this is actually listed in one of their books. And I love it so much. I love it. They also gave me this little envelope here with a red heart sticker. I have not opened it yet. I wanted to open it on camera with you guys so that you could be a part of the experience. Let's see what it says. It's a Valentine's Day card from Farron, who is one of the male characters. There are, at this point, 5 male characters, and he is one of the male characters. His attribute is, or his characteristic is closely related to fall, Farron for fall. And it says, "To sweetheart from Farron, you're the pumpkin spice to my everything nice." And that's what it looks like. And then this is the back. That's so cute. I love it. I'm going to use this as the bookmark when I buy the 5th book in the series once it is released. Okay. This is Blood War by Belle Walker. I have a glare, sorry, from the lights. Belle Walker Blood War. This book I also got signed. Oop. I have to be careful not to show you guys because there's some explicit art that she gave me. And I don't know if I could show that on YouTube, but I got this one signed by her as well. And she gave me this sticker to go on like a Tumblr or a Kindle iPad. I'll show you 1 or 2 of the stickers that she gave me. So the first one is this, which is her 2 main characters, and it's enemies to lovers. So you have one of the characters with a dagger, and then you have the characters in a second pose, but in this case they are clearly not enemies any longer. It's very pretty artwork. I don't know what I'm going to do with the explicit picture because I don't know if I want that displayed on my bookshelf, but I think maybe I'll just leave it with the book and we'll just see what happens. The Source of the Storm by Angelina Kelly. This one I also got signed, and it says, "To Amanda, happy reading." And she also gave me a cute little bookmark, which I absolutely love the image. It's of an elf or Selkie. So gorgeous. And this is the back. It's just got her information, Angelina Kelly, and then her Instagram, TikTok handles, and things like that. The last book that I purchased, well, actually it's second to last because remember I bought a book bundle. The second to last book I bought was These Ruined Dreams by Kayla McGrath I did get this one signed as well. So, happy reading for Amanda. She gave me this bookmark. This is the back, which is essentially her information. She also gave me this, which I don't know what TBM plus TRD means, but we're gonna open it and see what is in here because I haven't opened this yet either. I wanted to open it with you guys on camera. It's a bunch of art. Like, I mean, like look guys, look at this. Holy crap. She gave me a ton. Okay. We're loving it. This is awesome. I like the graphics. This is totally giving like Pinterest board, moody vibes. I like each character that she's depicted in this art so far. All of them look really interesting. Some look a little evil. Some look obviously like a good character. And I hope she's fine with me showing all of these to you guys on camera, because I'm pretty sure she has these posted on Instagram, which I'll link her Instagram below because I don't think that she has a YouTube channel, but I could be very wrong. She might have a YouTube channel. Wow, these are so cool. Then there's this one. I love this one. The purple is gorgeous. This is giving good and bad vibes. And then this one, this looks like a why choose to me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of them, but I will find something that I can do with them. Maybe I can put them in a frame and frame one or two of them for the bookshelf. If you guys have any ideas for what I can do with like artwork like this that I received from the authors, let me know in the comments below if you have ideas, because I'm just thinking of maybe framing one of them, but I'd love to know if there's something else I could do with it so that it's, you know, being seen not just by myself, but by other people. Last but not least, I have the package to open with you guys, and we'll see what this book is. This should be book 1 in Kayla McGrath's series, and I'm excited to see the actual cover. I'm going to be careful not to show you guys my address while I'm at it. Not that I don't want you guys visiting me, just, yeah. Okay, so, ready for the reveal? The Broken Memory by Kayla McGrath. It's gorgeous. I love the purple. And this is book 1 of her series, of her trilogy. This one is not signed, unfortunately, but if I see her at her next author event, I may take this and get it signed by her. That was my experience. It was great. I loved it. I had a fantastic time. I had some ups and downs, some things that stressed me out, but I absolutely am happy that I chose to stick it out and actually go to visit Nanaimo. If I had missed it, I would have been very upset. You know, maybe I wouldn't have known what I missed, but now that I have went and I spoke to the authors, I got some books, I experienced things. I know I would have regretted not going, so I'm happy that I did go to my very first book convention. Yay! And book signing by authors, which is cool. I am on the lookout for the next couple book signing and convention events for either December or the new year. So if you guys have any to suggest, leave it in the comments below. I am on the West Coast, so Washington specifically. The furthest I am willing to drive is British Columbia province, as well as down to Oregon or maybe California. I'd love to check them out at some point in time, and hopefully it's something that I can attend and take some more footage for you guys. So, hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun doing a book haul with you guys. I've never really done one on this channel before, so it was kind of interesting to do. Let me know below if you've read any of the books that I featured, or if they're on your TBR. If you haven't read any of them, but you are going to check them out after this video, because of this video, let me know. I will have in the description the author's handles for Instagram and or YouTube, depending on which platform they use. I will also list the names of the books below as well so that you can see them. And on my Instagram, in my story, I'm going to be posting some features about these books that I picked up as well, if you're interested in checking that out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that this inspired you guys to schedule a time for your own book conventions that you can attend in your areas. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're happy, I hope you're safe, I hope you're well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.